Hi guys, my name is Basiko. In this channel, we're all about nourishing your growth, focusing on personal development and self-discovery. We also talk about faith in this channel. Do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. The more you like, the more you subscribe, the more YouTube is able to push this video so that more people can be able to see it. And I also have timestamps in the description box, so you can just shoot through to the part that you want because I value your time. Today, we're talking about the good and the bad characteristics that we inherit from our parents. Whether we know it or we don't, or we choose to ignore it, we have certain characteristics that we inherit from our parents, and some of them can be genetic and some of them can be learned behaviors. The reason why we're talking about this topic is because we grow up believing certain things about people, how we interact, cultural customs, what we believe about spirituality. Can be politics, it can be financial, it can be emotional, mental state. How we relate to those things have to do a lot with how we grew up, what we have come to believe because of how our parents raised us. We're always so quick to raise up our hands when we talk about the good characteristics our parents have. Oh, my mom is so courageous, my mom is so strong, oh, I'm just like her, my dad is so clever, business minded, and I'm clever like my dad and business minded like my dad. Those are good traits to have and nice to brag about. We are always so quick to sweep under the carpet the ones that we are always so quick to judge our parents for, the ones that when we look at our parents and we say that will never be me. What about those bad characteristics? Because I believe you are in denial when you say to yourself, I will never be like my parent, or I will never have that character, that will never be me. The question is, are you that self-aware of yourself? Do you know yourself to that extent to know that you will never be like your parent? Because the one thing about bad characteristics, we can look at our parents and judge them and say, yeah, hey, and I'll never be like my parent, I'll never behave like my parent, I'll always behave better. But one thing about bad characteristics, they manifest themselves in different ways in our lives, and sometimes it's not something that you can easily pick out and be like, oh, that character, I can definitely just push it away. That is not as easy said and done. It doesn't work that way. It requires a lot of work from yourself. It takes a lot of mental and emotional health and maturity for you to even be aware of those bad characteristics, and how you choose to deal with them differently also plays a role. My question to you today would, do you know the same characteristics that you share with your parents? And where it could be good, it could be bad. We often choose to focus on the good characteristics that we have from our parents, and we choose to ignore the bad ones. But the thing about the bad ones, they don't go away, and they show themselves up in different ways in our lives, in different stages in our lives, and in different situations, different difficulties that we experience in life. So are you able to actually say, that is the bad characteristics that I've inherited from my family, and this is how I choose to deal with? Because the nice thing about today's age is that we have resources, we have books that we can read, we have podcasts that we can watch, we have people that we can look up to renew our minds and renew our hearts in order for us to think differently and approach things differently. The reasons for identifying these bad traits. So accept without judgment. You firstly need to realize that you judging your parent and looking down on them for those bad characteristics, it does not help you. So you need to accept and know that they've also inherited these bad characteristics from their parents, and their parents from their parents. So it's a cycle. So you are the one that has acknowledged these bad traits. How you choose to show up differently is very important. So what you do is you accept them the way they are. Our parents are not receptive to our different thinking, how we see things. Just accept the fact that this thing is there. So your question should be, how do I handle this bad trait that I have? My advice to you is, number one, be self-aware. So what you think is very important. How you interact with other people, how you speak to other people is things that you need to start looking at. How you behave in difficult situations, what you say in difficult situations, and what you do in those difficult situations. It actually helps you realize some of the bad and the good traits that you have from your parents. Just because a situation that you had, you might have dealt with it differently, it doesn't mean that the bad trait won't keep showing up. It will keep showing up, but you need to always be aware when it shows up. And because you've inherited this, it's a learned behavior. Also, to unlearn things takes a long time, so you also need to be patient with yourself and understand that even in you approaching things differently. When you're aware of all of this, it makes life much easier for you. You are able to navigate these things for you, and you also are able not to pass it down to your children. It doesn't become a recurring cycle. And also identify when you need help. There are things that you are not going to be able to get over by yourself. There are things that you're not going to be able to just move on from by yourself. If you need the help, then you need to start reaching out to the right people. The nice thing about the internet that there's always people who are motivating other people to be better versions of themselves. And also we have therapists so that you can start speaking to somebody else, so that you can better understand your feelings, how you think, and your mental health and emotional health, what is going on there, because some things are so deep rooted that they require you to speak to someone else. And also I want you to know that some of these bad traits, you are going to need to fight them on a daily basis. Some of them require you to pray about them, to affirm yourself, to meditate on them. Now that you have identified the bad and the good characteristics, and now that you are choosing yourself, question is, what are you going to do in order for you to keep choosing yourself? What are you going to do in order for you not to repeat the same cycle? What are you going to do in order for you to show up as your best self every single day, so that your kids don't have to have the same traumas that you have, kids don't have to deal with the same issues that you have? What are you going to do on a daily basis in order for you to improve yourself? So that was my take on inheriting good and bad characteristics from your parents, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Do check out my digital store. I have 2 journals. One focuses on the walk with God, and the other one focuses on empowering and affirming teenagers. I also have a free ebook that talks about overcoming disrespect from parents in adulthood. I will see you in another video.